Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Wednesday, and that means another visit to our Lawo Lounge, the place to be educated, inspired, and hopefully a little bit entertained. Coming up on this week's show, our smart product line takes center stage as we delve into the black hole of the IP network and show you where to look if you're having video and audio issues. Also, we go on the road this week to the UK to pop our head into one of the Arena OB trucks. And in our segment introducing, you will meet the newest of our smart technologies. Now, we start our show as always with the answer to last week's 50-year quiz. I personally think it was a little bit trickier this time. The question was, what is the maximum possible number of I/O conversions in one of our 3 rack unit V matrix frames? The answer was C, 160. So, well done if you got that correct. Lawo giveaways potentially on the way to you shortly. Another question coming up at the end of the show. Now, this week we travel east to China to meet and greet one of my sales team members, Francis He, who is responsible for our China rep office. Ni hao, Francis.
Ni hao, Jamie.
So thank you for joining me today. Now, Francis is your Western name, right? So
yes.
What's your Chinese name?
My Chinese name is Fang Ming.
Fang Ming. I've always called you Francis, so I hope it's okay to continue to do that.
Yeah, fine.
Now, you're based in Beijing.
Yeah.
So my first question actually is a serious one. And how is the current situation regarding COVID-19 at the moment?
The answer is also a serious one. The general situation is positive, while most people, including our Chinese colleagues, are negative medically.
That's good to hear that our team is all safe and well. Now, you joined the company back in 2005, I think it was. That's 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And we brought you in to start up our China rep office.
Yes.
In these 15 years, there's been a lot of development. So tell me a little bit about the setup and talent that we now have in our Chinese organization.
Well, we have altogether 5 people now, including 3 engineers plus 1 assistant. We started from 0 application market share in China 15 years ago. Now we have nearly covered the whole major broadcast market in China, including radio station, TV stations.
So if you were to guess, how many consoles do you think we've sold in that time?
Well, 15 years ago, no console. So right now, I think we have been selling some 100, nearly 1,000, including the small ones, rubies and crystals.
Wow, that's really a great success.
Yes.
Now, last week, I introduced a quick-fire question round to get to know Sammy better. And now I want to do the same with you, if that's okay.
Why not?
Okay, so here we go. Ready? Movies or TV series?
Movies.
Sparkling or still water?
Sparkling.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Boats or planes?
Boats.
Left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Now I like this one. Noodles or rice?
Noodles.
Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
Coca-Cola.
Now I know the answer to this one. German car or Japanese car?
German car. Previously Japanese car.
Seafood or meat?
Seafood.
WhatsApp or WeChat?
WeChat.
And finally, tennis or table tennis?
Tennis.
Yeah, I knew the answer to that one because we've still got our match to play, right?
Yeah, looking forward.
Okay. Francis, listen, thanks for speaking to us all the way from Beijing today. You and the Chinese team, please take care of yourself, okay?
Thank
you.
you.
See you soon.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, my honor. Also, best wish to you. Stay safe. 谢谢，再见 Mr. Dunn.
Xi, Francis, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
As the adoption of network switch technology gathers pace in the broadcast industry as the backbone of media infrastructures, bridging the gap between traditional video and audio technology and pure IT topics is one of the biggest challenges facing broadcast engineering organizations. Identifying the effects that typical network issues have on live video and audio streams, and then speedily hunting down the root cause, is key to maintaining confidence and reducing downtime of such critical systems. Tony Zara and his team have all the answers as we put our smart technologies in focus.
Our industry is leveraging IP networks, producing the greatest media and entertainment ever. The Smart portfolio comes with two essential products. Their Smart Dash and their Smart Scope. Smart Dash is the operator interface. It provides a geospatial view of the LAN and the WAN, where those devices are across the network and how they're interconnected together. Smart Dash is complemented by a Smart Scope. Smart Scope is the technology that does deep packet inspection into the characteristics and the signature of the media as it flows across the network. Integrating all that together within the smart environment provides real-time view into how your network is operating and how those media flows traversing the network behave. By positioning Smart strategically at the intersection between IT and video operations, what we do is we bridge the gap between information that the IT department really requires from the media perspective and providing the media broadcasters the tools and the information necessary from the IT side. Time is critical. When there is a crisis, this could be anything from an anomaly to a full-blown outage, Smart delineates the operation between network and media production, providing immediate response to those that are responsible for corrective action. The Smart system is actually very unique because it sits as a complementary product to the award-winning VSM control system. They sit at a parallel plane where the information that Smart collects as it's analyzing the network behind the scenes is passed across our APIs into VSM. VSM can now have real telemetry into whether the link is up, the system is connected, and bandwidth is available for that route to occur. We have automated scripting engines that can on-ramp existing infrastructure from an SDI to an RF network to an IP network, and fusing that into the Smart Dash environment provides instant visibility into those interconnects and how the media flows across them, from lens to glass. Smart is a true vendor-agnostic platform. This allows our customers to select the technology that they're interested in. By using Smart, we can gain insightful information on one unified dashboard. Our industry is moving faster than ever, producing media and entertainment over cutting-edge IP networks. Smart system monitoring and real-time telemetry is the essential network monitoring solution for any IP broadcast.
Now, before I hand over to Tony to show you some real-world smart examples, we're very lucky today to be joined by Jesus Vegas Reyes from Telefónica in Spain. Hi, Jesus. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
Hi. Now, Telefónica has worked with Lawo on some large IP infrastructure projects in the last 18 months. Most notably is the SIC project in Portugal. So first, just tell me a little bit about yourself and about who Telefónica is and what you do.
Well, I'm Jesus Vegas. I'm an engineer and I work for Telefónica, which is a big company here in Spain, mostly known as a telecommunications company, but we do a lot of things apart from that. We are a research company. We do many projects on many clients, big TVs, public institutions, and it's a big company which has locations on the UK, on South America, and we do a lot of kind of different projects and different works around the world.
And as I said, we work together. So now you have quite some experience in deploying large-scale IP projects. And I presume that the importance of IP telemetry monitoring both during and after the installation is something that typically has not been the top priority for customers. But I'd be interested to know from you, now with the experience behind you, how important is it to ensure that budget is allocated during the project planning phase for this application? And then what's the payback from this?
Well, we are living a transition between the SDI and the IT world. So we need something to make sure that the customer knows where their streams are. In the SDI world, it was a cable. We knew the cable was from A to B. You can follow the cable, you can test the cable. If it doesn't work, you have to fix the cable or the equipment which the cable is connected to. But on the IT world is completely different, because your equipment are connected to a switch, and the switch handles the flows and redirects them on one link or another. You really don't know, and you need a tool that tells you exactly that. And from the customer side, it's very important to know this information to troubleshoot any incidents they could have in the future. And Smart shows all this information in a very useful graphical tool. And I think it is very important to have something like this on each IT project.
Mm-hmm. There are, of course, a lot of generic IT monitoring tools on the market. So from your opinion, though, I'd be interested to know what makes the Smart product different from these?
I think that the most important feature that Smart has is that it's tailor-made. You do a different Smart for each location. It's not something that has this menu here and this menu there. No, it's tailor-made. They make you make a different Smart for each installation according to the customer's needs, and that's very important for them, because they participate in the design of the tool, and they give us feedback about what they really want to know about the flows that are coming and going through the system. For some customers, it may be not very important to know where the cameras are coming and going, and for other ones it's very important because they share them between the studios, and they need to see which paths they are following in case they have a failure or an incident, and they can troubleshoot them properly.
Yeah, so we're going to have a look at some of these tools in a minute. So Jesus, but firstly, I really appreciate you sharing your experiences with us today, and I already know that we're going to be working closely together on another large IP project in Spain shortly. So in the meantime, you and your colleagues at Telefonica, please take care, okay? And we'll see you soon.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Now, bye. And now, Tony, over to you to give us a hands-on look at our Smart product.
Hey Jamie, it's great to see you again. Thanks for having me on this week's Lawo Lounge. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about SmartScope, which is our real-time high-capacity media stream analyzer. Now, SmartScope is software that we've developed to run on COTS servers, whether that be Dell, Hewlett-Packard, Supermicro, and be able to connect to the network and subscribe to real-time data, whether that be SMPTE 2110, -20, -30, -40 media content, SMPTE 2022-6 with including -7 redundancy, in addition to MPEG-2, H.264, HEVC, and segmented traffic such as HLS video flows. Now, this high-capacity stream analyzer allows us to look at the air chain from transmission all the way down to final consumption to be able to identify if there's any issues or anomaly with the packets and how they're applied into the network. And this is based on part of our stream verification and compliance techniques. Now, SmartScope has the ability to touch into a number of different interfaces on the network, from the first leaf that the stream is transmitted into, across a spine, including primary and secondary networks. So we can have a leg straddling on any side of the network to be able to consume content, verify it for compliance that are based on the governing standards, such as SMPTE or any sort of recommendation based on the VSF or EBU. So I'd like to take a quick minute to actually give you a bit of a demonstration of what I'm talking about here. So within our SmartScope interface, what you're seeing here is a video service that is subscribed to by our software, and it's being analyzed in real time. You can see it's an HD signal flow that's coming in. It's 2110 based. It gives us a video resolution and the frame rate, and it's looking at a number of different metrics from this particular flow. It's looking at the bit rate, service timing sync with relation to PTP, decodes the video and the audio, and it gives us a number of different packet telemetry metrics, such as jitter, the minimum received buffer depth needed to consume this stream in compliance, and also a tool that is very handy to me, which is RTP packet loss. This particular product has saved my butt a number of times, being able to look deep into the network, subscribing to flows at multiple locations, and identifying the root cause. And by being able to tap into multiple spots concurrently, we're able to identify how that signal evolves and behaves as it's being transmitted and received during final consumption. So I'm going to give you an example here. I have a technology that I'm using that we've developed called Packet Stream Manipulator, or sometimes referred to it as Packet Hatchet. And if anyone wants any more information on Packet Hatchet, please feel free to reach out, and I'll be happy to perhaps get you a copy of this technology that we've built. And what I'd like to do is simulate what packet drop looks like. Now, not everyone has had the privilege of looking at what RTP packet drops look like or be able to identify it very quickly. But within our Packet Hatchet software, I can simulate, for example, a 1% random drop. Now, if I apply that to my Packet Hatchet, which is in line with my SMPTE 2110 transmitter, what you'll notice is that very quickly, SmartScope has identified a rapid loss in bitrate. It has identified packet jitter. It has identified RTP packet loss. And as you can see, the video that's being decoded immediately starts to generate hits. Now, within our SmartScope, we've built up our software to be able to continue decoding. And what you'll see is the anomalies in the packet decoder, or I should say the video decoder, will show green hits. And that's effectively loss of data, where we're actually filling in or striping in with digital zero. But in some cases, there are receivers that are not able to comply or handle any sort of packet loss. And in this case here, very quickly we can identify that the minimum buffer depth needed to decode this particular flow has maxed out as 8.3 milliseconds of necessary depth. We're tracking around 2,500 packets of loss per second. Now, since SmartScope is built on software, it has access to large data. By having hard disks that are running on the server, we can not only trend the loss in real time and be able to look at the signature of the packets and the cadencing of that stream. We're able to record and capture the content as a PCAP, where timing is maintained and it can be used for further analysis. And once that stream becomes cleared, so I'll clear the rules and apply a corrective action to that stream, you'll notice that immediately SmartScope quickly recovers. It sees that the stream is now good. Bitrate is back to where we expect it to be. Packet and service timing are in sync. The jitter is no longer taking any sort of hits, and we're maintaining a clear loss per second of 0 when it comes to RTP packet loss. SmartScope has been used in a number of applications. It's one of the first things that I deploy within any sort of commissioning IP project. I connected up into my network at multiple legs, usually straddling both the red and blue network. Subscribe to 2110 flows, including having a look concurrently at MPEG flows that are coming perhaps off-air returns or transmission receivers, so that I can compare the production flows, the playout flows, the transmitted flows across the terrestrial network. Since SmartScope is elastic in its design, it has the capability of analyzing not just a single flow, but multiple flows concurrently, which means that a single license of SmartScope can analyze anywhere between a single 2110 signal when you need it most, or upwards around 30 to 40, possibly even 50 streams concurrently, depending on the architecture that it's deployed on. And that's part of our base license model, to be able to allow our users to look at multiple flows concurrently so that they can see the characteristics and behavior of these streams as they flow across the network. And if any particular device is changing its timing or manipulating the stream in any way, you can be sure SmartScope is going to be able to catch it. These are the sort of safeguards that we put in place when we deploy an IP network. We set up our SmartScope, analyze the pictures for compliance, the audio, and the PTP for timing. Now, based on PTP, I'd like to also give you an example of how we analyze and lock to PTP. Now, built into every SmartScope, we have the ability to lock to a particular PTP, and we can guard state against various metrics. So, for example, the Grandmaster ID, if that were to change, SmartScope will immediately raise an event notification. If the parent ID or the domain and the priorities happen to change, those become anomaly states, and an event is again raised. We were also tracking the message rates and the timing accuracy of PTP. For example, the sync, delay, and the announcement messages are all tracked in real time. And if they were to deviate away from the norm or a threshold that we set, again, the users can be notified instantly if that were to happen. And this becomes really important when an anomaly occurs at 2 o'clock in the morning, when most engineers are at home sleeping. We have the ability to raise events, but how we get those events to the end user is quite interesting as well. Traditionally, broadcast has been familiar with SNMP alerting and syslog, where those are standard features within SmartScope. But we've taken it one step further and allowed our users to also integrate what we call a Slack bot and a Slack notification within SmartScope, which is a standard feature. So whenever you have a Slack organization established, you can request a webhook, which we have an interface that you can populate, and when an event is raised, SmartScope becomes a member of your team, instantaneously generating a Slack notification, for example, video loss or audio loss, or for some of the examples that I just showed you, where perhaps RTP loss is the root cause of the issue. So another new feature that we've developed with SmartScope in concert with VSM, which is our broadcast system controller, is the ability to patch streams through a VSM control panel, just as if it was an SDI workflow. An operator now has the ability to use a VSM control panel to select SmartScope as a destination point. And using the source destination take approach and philosophy that have been very common with SDI workflows, we can now do this where VSM will patch over an SDP into SmartScope real time. We'll subscribe to that SDP, join the traffic that we've been instructed to, and immediately present a unified dashboard directly to the user. These patches of SDP data can be not just a single video flow, but it could be a video in addition to multiple audios, in addition to multiple ancillary data flows that are governed by SMPTE 2110-40. And that's a new feature that we've added as part of our 2.11 release with SmartScope, which is the ability to decode closed captioning, both 608 and 708, with burn-in and user data word extraction as a standard feature within SmartScope. So not only can you access the video for traditional audio-video impairments, the characteristics of this and the signature of the packets as they flow across the network, such as jitter, inter-packet arrival time, reordering of packets, but also to be able to analyze the ancillary data flows that are governed by SIM 2110-40. So I hope this was an informative session for you. I look forward to future Lawo Lounge sessions where I can demonstrate some of the capabilities of Smart Dash, which is the companion product to SmartScope, where we look deep into the network, work with our partners, our networking partners, to extract real-time telemetry data from interfaces and network appliances so we can build out a very rich user interface for our user base, whether that be broadcast engineering, IT engineering, and operations, unified under a single smart view. I hope you enjoyed this session and look forward to talking to you on the next. Bye for now.
When you are in any VSM matrix layer and want to search for a source signal, then first select any source. After that, use the keyboard shortcut Control-F. This will open the Find window. In this window, type the signal name in full or partial, then click Find Next or press Enter to initiate the search. Once VSM finds the first match, it highlights the signal and brings it into the viewing area. You can also choose the filter Label Type to search within a label layer or select All to search all labels. Similarly, if you want to find a target, select any target, use the same keyboard shortcut Control-F to open the window to find the type of signal name for VSM to search. Note that VSM search is not case sensitive. The same keyboard shortcut can be used in views, in signal paths, and in pseudo devices. Now you know how easy it is to use keyboard shortcuts to search for signals in VSM.
The new 2110-40 ancillary data shuffler and delay processing software. This is our newest product offering as part of our media infrastructure portfolio that can be deployed on COTS, bare metal servers, or virtualized environments. Our users can use this software to subscribe to hundreds of different ancillary data flows governed by SMPTE 2110-40, monitor and analyze them for compliance, and then mix, match, intershuffle any sort of did-SDID combination, including delaying each individual payload uniquely, to construct a new 2110-40 that can be transmitted for downstream subsystems. This software will also allow the user to lock to PTP, which comes equipped with a standard PTP analyzer that looks at the grandmaster, the domain, the priorities, the message intervals, and also the timing accuracy of the lock. The -40 shuffler has the flexibility to be stitched around any media infrastructure that has an IP workflow component. Ancillary data flows can be threaded through the software, whereby the user is presented a cross-point of ancillary data payloads. Those payloads can then be shuffled in any possible combination that the user desires. An example would be closed captioning from multicast flow A can be added onto multicast flow B to construct a new multicast flow C that can be delivered to a downstream subsystem. In the event where we have a multicast flow that has an ancillary data payload that is unwanted, the ancillary data shuffler and delay processor can subscribe to that flow, confirm that the did-SDID combination is present on that flow, and scrub it off that particular stream. That way, sanitizing the new constructed -40 flow in addition to retiming those payloads so that they maintain perfect alignment with other systems and requirements. The ancillary data shuffler and delay processor has a no-risk 30-day free evaluation that can be deployed on your system with your streams. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to call us for more information. Thanks.
Now it's time to go on the road again and visit some of our key customers and installations. This week we visit the UK to take a look at one of the Arena OB trucks. With VSM and Smart as key technologies in Arena's truck fleet, see how important control and monitoring are in a modern OB van environment.
Arena covers a lot of outdoor sporting events. We do live events in London, all over the UK and in Europe. We run a large fleet of OB trucks and we currently have 4 IP trucks.
We installed the Lawo Smart solution in the Arena TV production IP truck. This solution helps engineers and operators do deep packet analysis on the SMPTE 2022-6 and -7 flows for audio, video and data.
So Lawo's Smart Dash and Smart Scope will interrogate the switch in real time. It provides a really good user interface for the operators of OBZ. It allows us to interrogate the switch and look at jitter on packets, looks at PTP, looks at streams and bandwidth. The control system for OBZ and also XY and OB12 is controlled by VSM Studio, and that allows us to talk to all of the devices inside the truck. It controls the routing, the endpoints, controls tallies, and it allows us to change the parameters of all the devices and cards that we have in OBZ. The flexibility that VSM gives us is massive, and by a push of a button we can change from production A to production B. It allows us to control the multi-viewers and give the operators what they need to make their workflow a lot faster. We feel the product is excellent and they listen to customers, the problems, and they go away and fix it.
Thanks once again for being with us today. Before we go, we quickly have time for our Lawo 50-year quiz. As this show has been about all things smart, I keep it easy for you and see how smart you are. What is the name of our deep packet media inspection and network analyzer? Is it A, Smart Dash, B, Smart Scope, or C, Smart View? Send your contact info and answer to lounge@lawo.com for your chance to win some of our superb Lawo giveaways. Good luck. So, unfortunately, we have come to the end of another packed Lawo Lounge. Next week, our audio production team will be back to put news production in focus. Also, don't forget to visit our website to register for the next in our how-to series, which is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central European Time. In the meantime, please take care, stay healthy, and stay connected. See you next week. Goodbye.